Hey, this is the Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 318. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan today. We're going to talk simply about complexity. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole bunch is going down, including the sun, as people can see on our faces. If they're watching on YouTube, which you fucking should be.
Agreed.
We got a deck to talk about, as well as the springboarding topic that the deck offered, which is the growing complexity of cards in Magic. We got some stories to tell, some people to thank, but before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com, your source for all your gaming needs.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. And big thanks to Fusion for the Fusion 5K for bringing us out and jamming games with us. And
I didn't even get stabbed in Winnipeg.
No, zero stabbings. One window humping at a restaurant.
Yeah, one meth guy trying to hold his pants up while he was stumbling down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
One pregnant lady sleeping on the sidewalk outside of a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
One really sketchy after hours behind a building in an alley across the street from a park with no lights in it. Liquor store.
Yeah, cash only because like all of debit and credit and cell phones went down in the entire country. It was like Skynet taking over.
Yeah.
And the only thing that we wanted to do is get a case of beer.
Took us 2 hours.
Took us 2 hours, and we drove backs and forth, hithers and thithers, if you will. And all of the stuff that we encountered when we were doing that, not that sketchy for me. It's kind of like the environment I grew up in. Being from a place kind of like Winnipeg, just not quite as big, so it felt a little bit more intimate.
So you felt like you were just at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have to steal any of the liquor, though, so...
That worked out okay.
Yeah. Anyways, big thanks to Fusion. Played some games. Almost bought a $900 backpack, though I didn't.
Well, good call.
Almost did. Was going to part it out, make all my money back, keep the backpack. I could have used on that backpack. Exclusive promo code CCO Spring to save 5% off my entire order.
5% off things that you're going to... Luxury items that you weren't going to buy anyway?
In my case, yes.
Wow.
5% off of $900, though, would have been a fair dinkin' chunk of money.
That would have been several dollars.
Several cases of beer from that back alley vendor.
That's true. Well, we know they were probably really expensive in there, too. They probably overcharged, too.
Oh, I know. I saw 8 packs for like $17. It was night prices, but
that's
whatever.
Overpriced.
Well, yeah,
like
but
that,
hey,
like...
if you need beer, you got to get it in you.
And
you're going to spend $17. You're going to.
I get. You know what I spent $17 on?
Something from FusionGamingOnline.com, and you use CCO Spring exclusive promo code?
I use CCO Spring exclusive promo code while physically in the store by just... I didn't yell it at the guy. I wanted to.
Probably could have.
No, because then you wouldn't know what I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, tell the story.
Here's the story. So I rolls in to Fusion Gaming.
Well,
location.
I rolled in. We all had to piss, so we all went to the bathroom.
We all rolls in, and then he's hobnobbing it with the big-time CEO guy.
It was.
I'm over there talking to some of the people working behind the counter. I'm like, hey, man.
You got any of that good shit?
You got any of them there double masters?
You got any of that Winnipeg back alley fucking liquor store shit?
Yeah, that's right. And he was like, yeah, buddy, I got your back.
Yeah.
And I was like, sweet, so just go back and real quiet, like, you gotta give me that shit. So we did, and he came out, and I was like, yo.
Puts it into your backpack.
Oh, yeah. Directly into my bag. And I'm like.
From the back room.
Yeah, from the back room into my bag.
And I'm oblivious. I'm just like schmoozing, hey?
With the support your local game store foil sol ring.
You got another one?
Sure did. I'm up to 5. Oh. That's right. I support my local game store, as we all should.
Because we were locally there.
We were locally shopping at our local game store. So. I keeps this bag. It's thinking, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Put the lock back on my bag. This is all good. And then we do the thing, and we get a tour of like the back, and we meet everybody. And I got to like cruise around in the warehouse and look at
with
things.
all the like white boxes that have like set labels on them and shit.
Yeah, they're all on like racks and
there's some guy back there that's like he's like chained to the shelves. They never let him on. Hey, this is Ryan and Brando from Commander Cookout. He's like, oh.
He was like,
he's like holding up a sign when the boss isn't looking. Help me.
Yeah, like they took his ears off, and it was crazy. crazy.
He had no fingernails left from sorting cards.
Yeah, and there was just a pile of shoes back there too, which I thought was very strange. But hey, I'm not from Winnipeg. I don't know how they do things out there. So we do our visit. We leave the store, and we're going back to put our shit in the thing. And we put all of our bags in the car. And I unzip my bags. Like,
Hey, check this out.
hey, check this out. Look what I grabbed from the back. And I unzip it. And I pull out this box of Double Masters. And Ron's like, what? You did not.
You did not.
There's no way you did that. And I was like, nah, I didn't. I totally bought it. Totally. You should have seen the look on his face.
Man. Well, okay. So
he 100% thought I jacked that
so
box.
fucking believed you for like that 1 second, like literally that 1 second of panic. And people know what I'm talking about. That 1 second of panic when you think that you locked your keys in your car or you got to the airport and you don't have your passport. Like that 1 second of panic. Oh no, I have my passport. Oh, my keys are in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the CEO and manager of Fusion. And Brando, to my knowledge, was right beside me the whole time.
Wasn't.
And
I was not physically present.
And then all of a sudden, I see this box after you say, hey, look what I took from the back. Not look what I bought, look what I picked up. No, look what I took from the back. And I envisioned myself talking to the CEO and him just being polite and not saying anything as he saw you, like, past my head, putting it into your fucking bag. Just for 1 second. And then Laura was like looking at me and looking at you and looking at me. Nah, I didn't. I was like, oh, you fucking guy.
It was so good. I was so happy.
Oh yeah, worth it. I take a good prank any day of the week.
And I'm super happy that we got to go there and be there and meet all of those people. It's nice to like put a face to the names of the people that like sort our orders and put up with all of my crap. And I try and write little notes to them sometimes.
Oh yeah, I do that too sometimes.
So that they know that I think that they're cool.
Maybe they're listening right now.
I hope so.
F them.
They might be, and if they are, we miss you guys.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and then Jason took us to that place for beers. I can't remember the name of
it. Kilter Brewing.
They have a little octopus on their logo.
Yeah, shout out to them. If they want to send us any beer, we'll drink it on Sidewalk Slam.
Absolutely, because it was delicious.
Yeah,
there was one that tasted like a root beer float.
If you're a Winnipeg local and you know what Kilter is, it's on
some street.
I remember the street, but I don't. Anyways, if you know what Kilter Brewing is, get them to send us some stuff. I didn't even think of that when we were there. Because I was half in the bag.
And if you're Winnipeg local and you've never been, you should go.
There we go.
They make good food, and they have nachos with cheese. They do have cheese, but they don't call it cheese. Mm-hmm.
They call it queso, which is cheese everywhere where people speak Spanish, plus the land of the free, where they have lots of Spanish-speaking people.
I'm not from either of those places.
Uncultured swine.
And like Ryan and Jason explained to me that it was cheese several times, and then
everybody knows that queso dip, cheese dip.
Didn't know that.
Now you know.
I probably will forget the next time.
No, you'll say queso dip. I remember that's cheese. You'll do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Now you'll say next time you go to the movie theater and you get that yellow sludge that comes out that looks like mustard, but it tastes like cheese? Not cheese.
Oh,
you say, oh yeah, that's queso dip. and then somebody be like, oh no, Dad, no, that's almost plastic. Anyways,
yes.
Speaking of Kilter listening and probably not listening, we do have people that do listen.
What?
Those people, some of them.
Oh, wow.
And I would very much appreciate, so would Brando, if more of them went to patreon.com/CCO Podcast. We have a couple new patrons to give away. Patrons who signed up, who we need to give away nicknames to.
Oh, I love this part.
It's one of the benefits. Benefits of being a patron is a nickname, maybe a CCO sticker pack, token pack, being in our Discord, going to CCO Penthouse CCO in Belvedere, Washington. Balswana.
Yeah, Balswana. Ball Pit.
Ballsack.
Ballsack.
July 22 to 25 we'll be there. Yep. The 25th we're leaving. We're not staying there.
Yeah.
We're getting up, cleaning beer cans, and jumping on a plane.
It's going to be like in Vegas when we woke up like 45 minutes before our plane left because we were drunk for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a morning because I thought we had lots of time and we did not.
Made it though.
Sure did.
No panic, because your boy, seasoned traveler, the girls in front of us were panicking, shitting bricks, and I was like, these girls are being assholes. Like, why do you have to be rude? They're probably not even that late for their flight. They're on the same flight as us. Oh, that's my favorite part about the airport is seeing people just panic.
Yeah. My favorite part of the airport is seeing how pissed off Ryan is about being at the airport. And I
Yeah.
know that might make me a bad friend, but you know what? I take my amusements where I can find them. And if any of you ever travel with us, you get to see it too. And I'll bet you're going to be way more on my side than Ryan's because it's pretty fun.
I don't know. I don't know if it's fun. Anyways, the nicknames.
Yes.
We'll start with an increase. Who doesn't have a nickname?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So now he's going to get one. This is Matt Vanderveen.
Matt Vanderveen.
Vanderveen. You had to scoot off the screen to read it correctly.
Okay, so there's definitely a peen reference we can make here.
Yeah, Vans and Peens.
Or wait.
Cans and Peens. Yeah.
Man peen.
Matt
Man peen.
Matt Manpeen. Yeah, that kind of sounds like a Nintendo character from
Matt
like
Man peen. Yeah, I like
from the
that.
80s.
Oh, definitely.
Matt Manpeen?
Yeah, he'd push boxes.
That's a good one for Discord too because sometimes they get too complex and too long.
Matt Man peen.
Matt Manpeen. Yeah, I like that.
It's 3 words. Matt Man peen.
There you go, Editor Joe. There you go. Okay, next one. And his wife actually patroned us. And then before I could even send a thank you, she's like, "No, it's not me, it's him." And she says his name, and I don't need, like, it's got like 78 different consonants in a row.
Okay.
Ryan, definitely a good name.
Medium.
Oh fuck. C-Slack?
C-Slack?
It's got to be C-Slack.
C-Slap.
Don't Google that.
Do not Google it. C-slap. I'm spelling them out now so that you know the puns. And you can fill in the pun however you want. C-slap. C-slap rocks the C-slap.
C-Slack, Rob's the C-Slap.
Yeah, okay. People, they get
Oh,
it.
fantastic.
Yep.
Well, apparently his wife says that he's an avid listener of the show. Mr. C-Slap is an avid listener. And
Is she Mrs. C-slap?
she's probably Mr. C-Slap
Like
in this
what-
relationship if she's driving the Patreon
What's her name?
boat.
We should give her a nickname
I don't
too.
remember her name. She messaged me, but I don't have it up right now. So
All right.
sorry, Mr. or Mrs. C-Slap, however you identify. The third one,
Okay.
Josh Branco, like Bronco, but with an A, like he's from Wisconsin. So
Wisconsin.
Josh Branco. He's probably friends with Max Grandel
I probably
because he's a Bronco fan, but from Wisconsin.
I'll
So
bet
he's
he
not
has-
a cheesehead.
bet
He's
he
not a
has-
queso head.
I'll bet she has no forehead.
Why? That doesn't give him a nickname, though.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. What's his name again?
Josh Branco.
Branco. Now, we could go with the Bronco thing, but I don't know. That sounds like we'd probably get sued. And I don't
wanna
want to
say,
get sued.
I want to call him like, I want to make a, oh man, this is a tough one.
This is a hard one.
Sometimes we go over them beforehand, and this time we didn't.
Yeah, this time I had no idea. Branco?
Branco. Is there a brain joke in there? Maybe that's the part of his head he's missing.
Brain joke.
Josh Brain Joke.
Yeah.
Going around giving people the brain, which means something totally different than what we were just talking about. So maybe don't Google that. But
No, don't. That'd be a rough one. But you know what?
Josh Brain
Brain
Joke.
joke.
Yeah, I like it. We got there.
Because
We
it
got
could
there.
be like a brain joke, or it could be a brain joke.
Yeah, the second one. Yes.
Wiggling my eyebrows. If you're watching on YouTube, you'd know that.
Yeah. Now, if you're watching the pre-show on YouTube, you'll know that last week's hint was for Herd Bailoth. Turd Baylor, the CCO preview card for the giveaway. Now, if your name is totally real name, Eric LeMay, tell him what he's got to do.
First of all, you're going to go to your email. Then you're going to write an email saying who you are and what you won to commandercookout@gmail.com. And if your name isn't this person, you're not going to do it because we're on the honor system and we don't want anybody to screw it up for everybody because this is a fun game and I like playing it and I don't want anybody to wreck it for me.
And you just let us know your address. Did you say that part?
Yeah, you tell us your address and that you won and whether you want a sticker pack, token pack, real pack, send it to you.
That's it. And update regarding previous booster pack game winners.
Oh, shit.
All of the winners from last month have all been sent out, and they are token packs, sticker packs, booster pack, any kind of pack that we can crack and pack your butt crack with it or put whatever. that you wouldn't pack your own butt crack? Whatever.
You could put, yeah, no judgment here.
All of those are sent out. All of the Patreon sign-up gifts, benefits, the real benefits to becoming a patron, the physical stuff that you get is all sent out. So if you want to hop over to the Patreon page, you can pledge there and get your sweet CCO shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
that's all I got to say about that.
Me too.
Now,
Now.
first time in a few weeks,
Holy shit, we got a deck.
we're kind of doing a deck. We're using the deck as kind of an inspiration for the show. But I think it would behoove us to say who submitted the deck, because that too is a Patreon benefit.
Ooh, I remember this. It's the Deech.
The Deech can't come to Bellevue.
What?
He's going to Wisconsin or something for work.
What?
I know.
What the
I said the same thing.
I'm not saying. I'm not going to do it.
Said the same thing, Deech.
Come on, Deech.
You should just quit your job.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
So I'm going to Bellevue. Yeah, we're totally breaking in here right now.
Oh yeah. we just made CCO Studio at my house look like the control room behind
Yeah.
us. This is all green screen.
Yeah, this is the green screen behind.
I took a picture before we left last time. And we have our light shining directly at our face just to make you extra believe.
We're not. That didn't actually happen.
No.
Yes.
But okay, so we've got the Deech's deck, which is very nice to say. The Deech's deck.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm going to call it productoverload.deck. And what it is a satire on product overload. And we love satire here.
Yeah.
We love satire because it lets us make fun of things that either we're not supposed to make fun of.
Now we're supposed to make fun of
Oh, yeah?
product overload. Yeah.
This is okay.
That's why WotC does it, I assume.
You know what? We can make fun of it without saying that we're making fun of it.
Here's what I was doing today in the shower.
Okay.
I was thinking to myself, you know what? There were so many products that came out in the last
You know what,
40 or
Naked
50
Brando?
days. Yeah.
You know what, Naked Brando? I'm really thinking about rubbing up on Magic
I'm
cards.
really thinking about all these sets that are coming out, and I'll bet you that they just like invented one for like this time period and just took a bunch of cards out of one of them and put them in another one.
Yeah.
I bet you they did. Just so that we could have extra products to open.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you want to make more money?
Well, I mean, I would want to make more money.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I mean,
more money is good. So
but
I guess
I would also expect, if I was to do that, I would expect people to make fun of me for it.
so here. Oh yeah, for sure.
blatant.
Here's the thing. WotC's a business. Everybody knows that. They're trying to make money. They got shareholders, stakeholders, and whatever. This is not what that show is about. We've talked about the WotC situation, the product situation, many a time.
Yeah.
Many a time on different shows. You can go back and find them. That's not what this show is.
No.
Not today. What this show is taking this deck as a jump-off point of complexity being introduced into Magic at a higher clip over the last 2 years. And Mr. Deech took like 100 cards or however many cards are in the deck minus land and just took all of the cards that have the most words on them.
So there's two kinds of complexity here. There's so many cards coming out all the time that you
Yep.
can't keep track
Yep.
of them. And some of them are real whiz bangers. So I said whiz banger. I made that up just now.
No, that I think
Whiz bang and banger. They're two things. You combine them and you get super
you
word.
combine them into something that also already existed.
Yeah, I probably didn't.
Okay, so today we wanted to discuss how one might make the most out of this.
Yes.
Hold on, I gotta move my mic back. So
This deck is not it. And we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But like, the deck is a meme, which Ryan loves. I'm not the biggest fan of. But
Yeah.
we're going to talk about how you can make it better, part it out, and do something a little bit better with it, and talk about overall how the complexity that has been introduced into the game via lots of cards and very complex cards
Yep.
has kind of impacted building, and how it's been giving us so many options and so many like jumping off points. How do you choose?
ooh, yeah, I like that. I was going to say something like we all know that there's a ton of new cards. Like there's just cards falling out of every orifice that WotC has. It's like they're busting at the seams, trying to get new cards out of the building faster than a lot of people think that they should.
You know what cards they should be moving faster to move out of the building? The secret lairs. So we're not waiting for 6 months and forget we buy them, and then we get billed when we're on our way to Winnipeg and the service is all out, and then you get an email the next day saying that they billed your credit card for a bunch money.
Yes, I agree. That didn't happen to me, but it sounds like it would happen to people that I know.
Yeah, who though, right? Who would that ever happen to?
That's fantastic. So they're bursting at the seams trying to get these cards out, and it seems as though the cards have more and more and more words on them. And my question was, or you answered it before the show, but I'll ask it on the show. The question is, does that make these cards more powerful, or does it just make them more obtuse, or do they have to add more words as riders so they're not more powerful and it makes them less powerful to have more words?
Yes.
All three, I think, right?
Yes, the answer to all of those is yes.
Yeah, so
Except for does it make them more powerful, because that's not necessarily, because there are some old cards with lots of words that are real bad.
Yeah, that's like saying my truck has metal parts, therefore my truck is made out of metal, right?
Yes.
And also, my truck has parts that are not metal, therefore my truck is not made out of metal.
Ooh,
right?
That's a paradox, like the cat in the
well,
box.
It's critical thinking philosophy. This is Schrodinger's deck, I guess.
Yeah, Schrodinger's truck.
Schrodinger's truck. Yeah, fucking cool. So, are they more powerful? Yes and no. Is this deck more powerful for playing them? Potentially yes, and potentially no.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back, and we switched over to the cards. First time we've done that in a good long while.
Yeah, the blank void in which we do cards.
Yeah, and also behind the CCO curtain, the blank void that is the Wood Age studio.
Yeah, we had to switch studios, which is weird, but here we are.
We'll probably sound just a little bit different because the microphones are set up different or something, but...
it smells like old gum in here.
It does. You know what? Every time we come in the evening, the main CCO control room smells like chemically treated hair, like a hair salon from the 90s.
That's because news guys work in there, and that's what they smell like.
Oh, and now this one smells like, chewed gum, like gum breath. That's what it smells like.
Yeah, we can't win. The things that we do to deliver the best programming on the internet.
Yeah, so subscribe.
Bar none, yeah.
I guess. Okay,
we're
so
good.
We at least owe it to people that are listening to talk about the legendary creature that's helming this deck.
Okay, so we got Asika, God of the Tree. That's a god, 1/4, green, 1, Vig, taps for mana of any color. Other legendary creatures also have vigilance, and they tap for a mana of any color. And you can transform it into a legendary enchantment that costs Wooburg. At the beginning of your upkeep, you mill down until you find a permanent or a creature or planeswalker. Put that shit into play. Everything else gets shuffled together, put on the bottom.
Yeah, so kind of like Cascade, but for creature or planeswalker.
Or like Super Maelstrom, but for creature or planeswalker.
Yeah, and that side's good. And the other side is good because we do play quite a good number of legendary creatures in this that would then tap for mana.
Man, that card is so flavorful. It's like the Rainbow Bridge bringing the Einherjar up to Valhalla so they can fight in Ragnarok, but that's not what we're talking about today.
No, you could tune into the Kaldheim set review for that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's good. I like that one.
That is super cool. So the Deech sends this deck in, and he says it's only built from cards from the last 2 years, so like Kaldheim forward.
So you've only got like 3,000 cards to choose from.
Yeah, and he picked them based on them being the most complex cards from each set.
Like the wordiest things he could find.
So Brando and I are talking about the decks, and we're asking all the questions. Are these good? Like, a lot of these cards are good cards in a vacuum.
I would suggest that individually, all of these cards are pretty good.
Yeah.
But when you mash them all together, you run into your first issue when you're just building with the most complex stuff, which is maybe they don't fit all. Like you're a chemistry guy.
Yes.
Like complex molecules and other complex molecules don't always bond together as well as a complex molecule and a significantly less complex molecule.
Yes, they need to be synergistic, or there needs to be a catalyst introduced to make the two of them work together, right? Combustion reaction needs heat to be present before things will break down. Yeah, there you go. There's chemistry back at you.
We're good
at
this.
I'll give you the listener a couple examples. We've got Astral Dragon. Good card.
Or if you say it correctly, Asshole Dragon.
Yes, makes copies of things that are 3/3s. Fantastic.
The copies of what?
Well, okay.
The copies of target non-creature permanent. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so you get a 4/4, and then you get 2 3/3s that are copies of whatever you want to make copies of.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Battle Angels of Tyr.
Also
really
real
good. Regarded as one of the best white cards in the Commander Legends 2 Battle for Baldur's Gate. Really good card. Deep Gnome Terramaster. Necromancer. Like, I'm thinking, I'm just scanning. Green Slime. That was a card that I really liked in our Not Set review.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so Jin Gitaxis in this deck.
The second Jin Gitaxis, because of course the first one wasn't printed within the last 2 years, I don't think.
I don't think so either. And also Vornklex, the new one.
Yeah.
The point is, lots of powerful cards. These are the cards that have lots of words on them, and all of those words work together in sentences and multiple paragraphs in some of these cases to make the card powerful. And our qualm or our quip, the shtick with the deck is none of those cards really talk to each other. Yeah. They just are powerful on merit.
Yeah, like when we read all those cards out just then, I'll throw in a couple more just for fun.
Sure.
Let's throw in Elder Brain. Let's throw in Mircool Lord of Bones and Spirited Companion.
Oh.
Let's throw all of those in together, and then we're going to ask real quick, just to the listeners, what do you think this deck does? And they're going to say,
I don't know.
I don't know. Ryan and Brando, you should tell us. And as near as we could figure, what this particular deck was, which is why we wanted to talk about it, is it just delivers the complexity and beats you over the head with this, like it beats you over the head like with a stick, right?
Yes.
Stick to the fucking head.
A complex stick.
How complex is this stick that I'm beating you with? How complex is this deck? You have to read every damn card to see what it does.
Yeah, and that's the meme, and that's the meme is it doesn't really do anything. It's just every card has 300 words on it.
Yeah.
And the satire is every card has 300 words on it, and that's what WotC does now to keep it interesting. In addition to, we're playing singleton format. There's 99 different cards in this deck to represent the 16,000 cards that we've seen printed in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So when we look at this deck and we make the chemistry reference, we need synergistic things. We need catalysts to make it work. Those would be, I don't know, mana rocks, card draw, ramp, and the synergistic little things that tie the deck together.
Creatures that interact with what you're doing. Let's use Vornklex Monstrous Raider as an example. He doubles your counters and minuses your opponent's counters.
Yes.
Now that second ability is whatever. But for you, you might want to be synergistic with it by playing some Planeswalkers or by playing creatures that have something to do with +1/+1 counters. Hydras or
bolster
vampires, like where they hit them and they get bigger.
Yep.
Sliths.
Oh, Sliths, you're going old school,
right?
Hey?
Like there's so many things that you could play with this to make it synergistic and make it make sense. Why is he here?
Yeah, or what other people do with Vornklex these days is just put it in the same deck that has Doubling Season in it that also has lots of Planeswalkers.
Yes.
Because he works really good with Planeswalkers. And how many are we playing in this deck today?
2.
2. Not a very Vornklexy, not a very Vorny amount of Planeswalkers, if I may be so bold.
Let's just tell them the Planeswalkers. Let's tell them. So we have Kaya the Inexorable. Not going to read her. There's too many words. She's on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, which you fucking should be. You can read it yourself by pausing the video. The other one is Tamiyo Completed Sage. I would read that one, but I can't because it's in Phyrexian. Because that's what complex cards need, is to be in Phyrexian.
Yeah, now, to my knowledge, there are 3 of these in the deck, and I love... Okay, so we're talking about meme decks. You know I like memes, whether they're decks or otherwise.
Yep.
Decks or no. I love a good meme.
Truth.
I love a meme even more when it memes on a meme.
He really does.
And this Phyrexian Tamiyo is a meme within a meme.
Do tell.
Memeception Tamiyo is being a complex card with 400 words on it in a language that isn't real in a deck that is representing the complexity and the oversaturation of product in the last 2 years. This is memeception, baby.
This card does everything, and it does perfectly illustrate what we're talking about.
I love it.
What does this card even do? I don't even care, but like, jeez.
Yeah, don't care. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hit spacebar, and that'll pause your video.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, neat. I learned a thing today.
And arrow forward, like arrow left and arrow right, will rewind or fast forward. Remember those words?
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Dang.
Here's the thing. My kid doesn't know what rewind and fast forward are. He knows go back and skip.
Huh.
What in the hell?
Man.
Fast forward is rolling the VHS tape through your VCR faster so you can go ahead. And rewinding is rolling it backwards faster so you can watch a part again.
Yeah.
He didn't know what those are.
Huh. He's probably never seen a VCR.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Never seen a VHS tape.
Exactly. Now he knows that you put your finger on and you slide it across the player at the bottom.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the song or the video, you skip to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
So he knows scrolling and skipping.
Huh.
That's crazy, hey?
That
That's a
is
generational thing here.
Yeah.
He also knows Magic cards to have 10,000 words on them. He doesn't know when...
he doesn't know what the words do, but he'll get there.
Yeah, he doesn't know when cards just used to say flavor text and that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. We do our best not to complain on the show, right? So none of these things are complaints. They're observations, and then they're poking fun at what the game currently is.
Yeah, and it does illustrate a problem, I think, in general in the game, the design space of the game, wherein when you're trying to do so much new stuff so frequently, one of the necessities of that is you have to do new things, and in order to do those new things without keywording them or trying to do too much of one thing is you have to have riders and exceptions and explaining things. And
like triggers only once each turn.
All words.
I want to do this new powerful thing, especially in white, hey? Which, again, not a complaint, but I want to do this new powerful thing that white can do now. Awesome. It takes so many words because they don't just put draw a card on white.
Yes.
Not really, right? It's like draw a card if you got a 2-drop. Draw a card if, you got an angel, right? And then only once each turn.
Yeah.
So you're adding words if you have a 2-drop, and then you're adding words only once each turn.
And you're adding complexity because now when you attack, you have to look at all the things to see how many of the boxes you've ticked. So can I draw a card now?
Yeah.
Ooh, right?
Yeah. I ran into that actually in Winnipeg playing a guy. There was a guy playing an Edgar deck, and he said he had a lot of white vampires in his Edgar deck.
Wow.
Yeah, which I thought was cool because
neat.
it wasn't all just 1- and 2-drop vampires and try to kill you as fast as he could.
Holy
There
crap.
was like some interesting gameplay because he had white cards that were putting +1/+1 counters on his vampires, which I thought was a breath of fresh air.
Novel
first of all.
idea, yeah.
And but a bunch of them were cards that you have to jump through the hoops or check the boxes, and that's I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like, do I want white to just have draw a card? Like, do I want or like do I want white rampant growth? Do I want white brainstorm?
No.
Or white opt?
No.
Like,
you don't, but
because then color doesn't matter, right?
It's all samey.
People argue that color doesn't matter already because of the mana system being broken with fetch lands and dual lands and shock lands and ramp that finds anything.
Yeah, and there's nothing that can stop that we're allowed to play. So
Ooh.
we'll have to. There's a deep cut.
You went there.
Yeah, if you know, you know. But I think that they do that. I don't think that form of complexity I don't really have an issue with. I don't necessarily like it, but they are doing what the player base, us, have been asking them for. They're giving white card draw. And they're not homogenizing the game while they're doing it.
Yeah, they're still making it feel not like white opt or not like white rampant growth, which I think I speak for everybody when I say we appreciate that because that's what makes Magic magic.
Yeah, and it gives us all something to laugh about where it's like, oh, look at this white card draw thing. What do I have to do? Sacrifice my whole hand? Bury all my permanents.
Bury?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sell my car and run around the block with my pants around my ankles, right? Like, what do you have to do to draw that card?
Yeah.
What hoops do you have to go through? And I think that's kind of, it's a meme on a meme.
Let me know if you want to see a YouTube short of Brando drawing cards in white, where it's all just bad shit he's got to do to draw cards in white. Let me know if you want to see that. Up to and including running around the block with his pants down. There's the first YouTube short. Oh, man, I really want to draw a card in white. Okay, guys, I'll take my pants off. Fantastic. Okay, ridiculous. Well, before we get back to the Deech's deck, which still feels good to say, I want Brando opinion here.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's always dangerous.
Hang on. I hate it. There you go.
It's not an I hate it or I love it question.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, and people wouldn't tune into that, would they?
Yeah, they might.
I don't know. Anyway.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. How does this kind of complexity, white or otherwise, just like many cards with lots of words on them? Think of how wordy Call Time was.
Oh, man.
And you loved Call Time.
For
what
reasons other than,
For what it was, not for how many words it had.
Yeah.
And then think of how many cards from Strixhaven you play. Another very wordy set.
Yeah.
You didn't like Strixhaven very much.
I didn't like Strixhaven very much.
Okay, so now we go to Forgotten Realms, Baldur's Gate twice.
Yeah.
Lots of words in those sets.
Lots of words.
And you love those sets.
Sure did.
So how does that complexity mixed in with sets that you liked or didn't like, how does that affect you, the person, as like a deck builder or a Magic player?
Well, I mean, in those exact examples, I mean, they did give me, I think that there's been several decks I've built theoretically and a couple that I've built physically from Call Time because we had very interesting, though wordy commander cards. Specifically, we had Turgrid.
Yeah, you got that one.
Wordy on both sides. And Coma Cosmos Serpent, who is also very wordy.
Yeah.
Does all sorts of crazy stuff. Every time I read it, it's like, oh, yeah, it does that too.
Yeah.
You forget about all the stuff that it does.
That's funny. Both of those examples, powerful on merit based on number of words on card versus trying to rider the card into being not too powerful.
And then from Forgotten Realms, I looked at a couple of them. The physical one that I did build was Feldorn Wolf Lady.
Yeah.
Lots of words on her too, but not necessarily. That's just, you can like, it encourages you to do something different and that requires words.
It's Gruul and they want you to draw cards, but you're doing it the red way. So it doesn't just say draw a card like if it was blue.
Yeah.
It's exile it, you can play it until end of turn.
And then Driz de Worden I got from the first one. He had I don't know if it's a unique, I think it might be a unique ability. Not many cards do what he does, where he gets bigger every time a creature bigger than him dies, which is just unique. And again, takes lots of words to explain that, but it's unique, which is why I wanted to build it. And the lots of words, I think, get you to they can get you to a space where the card is unique. Or, I mean, conversely to that, we talked about this before the show. You end up with a card like Titan of Industry, where it just does 800 things.
Yeah, the Questing Beast is kind of like that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple, and it's weird because they've all been in green.
Yeah.
It's finally White's turn, which everybody I think is happy about. But Titan of Industry, 7/7, Reach, Trample, Elemental, because I think that's relevant.
Absolutely.
Green, 4. And this is in the deck that we're talking about.
Yeah.
When it enters the battlefield, choose 2.
2.
Yeah, 2. That's the part that I was like, what the fuck, 2? Why is it 2? There's no reason, and I always forget that it's 2. But the 2 are, destroy target artifact or enchantment, target player gains 5 life, create a 4/4 Rhino Warrior creature token. It could have just been a Rhino or a Warrior, and you're eliminating a word of complexity there.
Yeah.
Okay. Or put a shield counter on target creature you control.
Now imagine there was reminder text to explain what a shield counter was, too.
Well, it's a mythic. They don't put reminder text on mythics.
Yeah.
But we're introducing another thing there with shield counter. I need to know what a shield counter does.
And as far as words and complexity, this card could have been just like, I don't know, Titan of Butthole, and it could have been a common that was a 7/7 for 7 with Reach and Trample. Or it could have been something called Industrial Command, where it's a sorcery that just does 2 of those 4 things.
Oh, that's a good one.
They took the command and a creature and stapled them together, but now you've got to have all of the words and riders that allow a command to be stapled onto a creature.
So you're getting the when it enters the battlefield, choose 2.
Yep.
Instead of just choose 2.
Yes.
Yeah. That's I like that. That's an apt thing. And when they do that, like what's a 7/7 trample, reach, common or uncommon? What mana is that? 6? No, probably 7 if it's common.
It'd be 7 these days, probably.
And
maybe probably 3.
And industrial command, where it's choose 2 and you get those 4 things to pick. What's that cost? 5?
Probably
4, maybe? You get a 4/4 and something else for 4? No, it probably costs 5.
I think
because you get a 4/4 with that if it's just a sorcery. You get a 4/4 because Rhino and Warrior could be relevant.
Yeah.
Right? Things do make rhinos and care about rhinos, and warriors are definitely a relevant creature type since about Tarkir.
Yeah. What did isn't this what the green command kind of does?
Well, yeah.
It naturalizes something, gains its own life, shuffles a graveyard into its owner's library, and then I don't know, puts a shield counter on something probably.
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah. They definitely had shield counters in Lorwyn when the commands officially or originally came out.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, I like that comparison because like you're getting nothing like no extra mana stapled on to just have it do all that stuff. If a 7/7 reach trample is worth 7 mana, I think it's a fantastic card. Yeah. But like you said, it's got all those extra words. And do you think maybe it doesn't influence your building. You like the product or you don't, and you have the experience, magic know-how to decide that.
Yes.
What if you're a new player? Do you think this... I'll ask it 2 different ways, but it's the same question. Okay. Little Brando, okay? Little Brando. Same question, 2 different ways. Is the amount of product coming out, whether it be frequency or number of cards per set, do you think that's intimidating? And same question, but differently. Do you think the number of words on cards that come out as frequently as they do is intimidating?
I think for me, as a new player, if I was Lil Brando and I was just starting to play Magic, I think that the amount of new product would actually be less intimidating and more exciting for new players.
Ooh, yep, I agree.
Because there's always something new, there's always something exciting, there's always something new to get excited about.
Kids these days, they got so many things to pick from, so many different flavors of ice cream.
They got it so damn good, but on this, and this is a true story, Little Brando starting to play Magic, you see cards with lots of words on them. They're complex. There are lots going on, lots of different things. It
feels like it's going to get you.
Feels like it must be good because it does so much stuff. And then Little Brando is like, man, Leviathan's a good card.
Ooh.
And Leviathan is not a good card, but it's got so much words on it. You think, man, it has to be. You have to do all of this work just to attack with it? It must be good. The best creature.
To be fair, it only had to hit you twice.
That's true. You only had to sacrifice 8 lands to make it hit you that twice.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Not so good. Good thing you had 11 to cast it. or whatever it was.
But the point is, I think that that's a thing that can throw people off, too. And I think that people might get sucked into thinking that decks like this are the way because lots of words equals lots of power. Because typically, that might even be the way that it is now. Right? And you forget synergy for individual power. And I think that, especially if you're looking at a deck just like this one.
Oh, you mean going by way of words on cards and complexity to add more stuff? You're looking for additive power with added words?
Yeah.
Versus extra synergy through better deck building?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Of course, disregarding cards that have those extra texts to make them less powerful. Can only trigger once per turn is top of my mind with that regard.
Yeah, that also, that's a thing.
Yeah. We're talking about power, we talk about synergy. The Deech's deck. I just wanted to say it again. What do we do? Because this is unsolvable problem. We can't just say this is how you fix this deck without creating another thing like if somebody that would need fixing.
Let's say somebody's new.
Yeah.
And they show up to the LGS
with this deck.
With this exact deck. And you pound the crap out of them.
This is 5-color good stuff .deck.
And when we say good stuff, we're going to use the air quotes because it's all good, but good stuff usually means it's just good on its own. And a lot of the stuff in here isn't just good on its own. It needs to be supported in some way. Yeah.
So this is what I say when I say good stuff. How do we make it a better deck?
Yeah.
We take out some of the stuff that's maybe complex for complexity's sake. Maybe there's a worse version of like a Lightning Greaves or a Swiftfoot Boots, and then we add in like a couple mana rocks of the 2 or 3 drop variety, and we put in some ramp, and then all of a sudden we've got a deck that's got like 10 2-drop mana rocks in it and 10 card draw spells, and we're playing some higher powered stuff, and it just looks like a generic ramp into good stuff deck. I've solved one issue, the no synergy issue, and now I've just created the same deck that everybody else makes when they build a Sika or Prismatic Bridge.
Yeah. Or, I mean, also, like, being able to play your non-synergistic cards isn't synergy. It just means you can play cards.
And
that's consistency.
Yeah, and that isn't a problem. That's solving a problem. But a lot of people use Commander, especially, as an expression. This is an expressive format. I can build whatever I want.
It's true.
And the Deej can build whatever he wants, and we're not criticizing the build. We're saying if you showed up and wondered why you weren't winning, because you might think that that's important when you're new, this might be why. And as you start to learn that through experience or listening to a podcast, you would start to add the ramp and the card draw, and then you look like every other Prismatic Bridge deck.
Yeah.
Right? So we've just created what some might consider another problem. Okay, so how do I fix that? What synergies do I add, or what angle do I go down? Maybe Prismatic Bridge. Ooh, maybe Legendary Creature Tribal. There's a deck.
And that bumps you into the second issue, where when you take a deck like this, and I'm going to use the air quotes even though you can't see me, because even if you're watching on YouTube, we're in the card zone right now.
Yep.
Now you're just building another deck.
Building another deck, like a different deck than this deck?
Yeah, like you wanted this one, but now it's like, well, if you leaned harder into a Sika, or you leaned harder into Jin-Gitaxias, or there's lots of stuff with Myriad in here, so you leaned more into like the Myriad token attack strategies.
Yep.
Now you're basically building a new deck, because you're not going to cut your rocks or your ramp or whatever. You're going to cut things that don't work with you're going to cut Owlbear Cub because you're not playing enough creatures. You're going to cut Solitude because like it's not necessarily synergistic for what you're doing. You might cut Jin-Gitaxias because it's expensive both in terms of cash money and mana curve. Yep. Right, and you want to cut it for something that does what you want your deck to do now.
So, and you know what's funny is, okay,
and now you're just building a new deck.
I'm gonna cut this legend and that legend and this legend, and now all of a sudden I only have like 3 legendary creatures in the deck. A Sika, not very worth it at that point, because she turns your legends into mana rocks. It's like, oh well, maybe I don't need a Sika anymore. What other 5-color deck am I going to build now? Well, is it even going to be a 5-color build now?
This deck isn't a 5-color build now. It's only 4.
Oh, God.
There's not a single red card in this deck.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like it's... You don't even need a Sika. Really, you could... I mean, you can't use Atraxa based on the last 2 years, although I think Atraxa was reprinted in the last 2 years.
There you go.
So you might be able to get around that. And let's say you do that. Atraxa doesn't really work with this deck either because it doesn't have synergy with her.
That's it.
Right? And it's one of those things. It's hard to find. So you're solving problems either by turning your deck into every other deck of that ilk, or you're basically just rebuilding your deck. So it is a hard problem to get your mind around. When you have something that's so complex, it creates a complex problem with a not so simple solution when all you want to do is play Magic.
Yeah. Okay, so on the fly question again. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
On the fly hour with Brando.
Oh shit.
Oh baby, this could get dangerous.
I hate it.
I hand you this deck.
Uh-huh.
I hand you this deck of Deeches.
This exact one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say, build whatever you want with it. And you can use cards from FusionGamingOnline.com CCO Spring promo code.
Save 5% off stuff I was going to buy anyway?
Yeah, or maybe just your own collection.
Okay.
Like, what do you build? What do you change it into?
Oh,
and it doesn't necessarily...
That's an easy question.
Wait a second. Okay, fuck. Okay.
You are great.
You have to use cards from this deck.
Oh, you activated my trap card.
You have to use cards from this deck. Dare I say, you even have to use like half the cards that are in this deck.
Oh, you still activated my trap card.
Okay. You have an answer then.
I certainly do. I would immediately turn this deck into Miracul Lord of Bones.
This is why you picked him in yesterday's pre-show as the hint card? Okay.
I would immediately transform this deck into that. Yes, I lose blue.
Yep.
But whatever.
And red, technically, because the prismatic bridge is red.
Yeah.
You could have red in the deck.
So let's read Miracle, because it also fits right into what we're talking about. It's a 7/5 for 7. White, black, and red, or green count for some of the 7. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting total, it's indestructible. And whenever another non-token creature you control eats shit, you can remove it from the game. If you do, you create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's an enchantment instead of its other card types. So you get enchantments that is the creature that just died.
Cool.
So the enchantment will have all of the abilities, ETB, other ETB, activated, and static abilities of your creatures. And then you can just pick some of your cool-ass creatures that you want to enter the battlefield and die, and you can turn them into enchantments, and you get all kind of value there.
So you could turn this kind of generic, just good stuff deck into like an ETB and dies kind of tribal, for lack of a better word.
With a cool Enchantress package in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of neat. Like, what is it, Sphere of Safety? That enchantment that makes it harder to attack based on... So, every time you kill one of my dudes, it comes back, so you have to kill it again. But now it's an enchantment, so you're increasing the amount of mana you have to pay to try to kill me?
And chances are it's harder to kill once it's an enchantment.
Yeah, like, what's black going to do?
Yeah.
What's red going to do almost, even, right? Like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
You know what they're going to do? Nothing.
I like that with ETB and dies tribal or dot deck with the Enchantress sub-theme with like the constellation cards like Cetessan Champion and the one that doubles its power and toughness every time you an enchantment.
Doomwake Giant.
No, that's the black one.
Oh, crap.
This
deck has black in it.
Protector of... Oh, no, that's Protector of Argoth. Oh, Joe's got it on the screen. It's the one that... It doubles its power and toughness every time you have an enchantment enter the battlefield.
Oh, that's dope.
So if you... I don't know, maybe make that guy indestructible. I don't know. You make him indestructible. You're playing white. You can do that.
Yeah.
And then you go, Wrath of God. Kill all my own creatures. They all come back as enchantments, and that guy gets to be like 500 power.
And you know what's cool about that? That's really complex and has a lot of gears moving and but you're only using one complex card to do that.
I suppose,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that you've planned, in this case, the original case, you have a bag of seeds that you dumped on the ground and you hope something grows. Whereas with an example like that, where you're looking for more synergies and things that work into your more complex strategy, you're picking a seed and planting it and nourishing it so that it grows into a plant.
Nylea's Colossus.
Boom.
There it is. It's got Constellation. Whenever Nylea's Colossus or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Target creature. So you could even let this die if you just have your Toski that's already in the deck that has indestructible.
Yeah.
Just double Toski's power like 50 times.
Yeah.
But yes, what you were saying.
Yes.
Going back to what you were saying, you know what I like, and this is what we talked about before the show, was if we pick something, if complexity is the name of the game, if we still want to do that meme, and we want to do enter the battlefield triggers, dies triggers, or leave the battlefield triggers, Enchantress sub-theme, there's 3 things already that I'm doing. Maybe there's a Blink sub package.
Hell yeah,
right?
there is.
In 3 colors with a commander that's got 400 words on it. We're still doing all the things that we were doing, but now we've got like a trunk to grow around.
Yeah, and people are going to still have to read all your damn cards because they want to figure out which one they can try and deal with to try and interact with what the hell you're doing. It's actually making the game complex and making the game more challenging to navigate for your opponents, which is good for you because it makes you win.
Yep.
But you're doing it in a way that actually makes you win and not just because all your cards have a bunch of words on them.
Yeah, you know what? This feels to me... When I say a deck is very linear, What that means to most Magic players is it goes in a straight line to whatever end it's trying to achieve. Like a burn deck.
Yeah.
Like a combo deck.
Yeah.
Those are linear decks.
Well,
They do one thing, right? And protect that thing. This is the opposite of that.
Yes.
What's the word for maybe it's just non-linear?
Shotgun.
Shotgun.
It just shoots all over the place. Buckshot.
Buckshot deck, yeah.
Buckshot deck.
Do you like those?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
The one that I just described with the ETB enchantment sub theme with possible aristocrats package, because why not? You could have a little stacks theme in there,
you
too.
Know what
this deck could do literally everything.
I was just opening my mouth to say what you described, and then you said aristocrats. What you described kind of sounds like my Elenda deck, which does everything. You know how many different things that deck, like it's got all the staying power, because it doesn't matter if you kill that guy, I'll either get him back or I'll do something else. And I think that decks like that are important. I think that decks like that feel very EDH to me. But if we go back to the original form of this deck, if you don't have enough of a plan for any of your plans, your main plan, your sub plans, your sub plans, the side quest that the deck can do, if you don't have enough of a plan, you just feel like a generic value deck. And you know the deck I'm talking about. The generic value deck is the person who comes to FNM, oh yeah, I've played Magic since like Revised or Mirage or Ice Age, and mostly I just draft, but I have enough draft chaff that I like made a couple commander decks. Now me and my friends play them. And you know the deck, it's chock full of Wrath of God, like multi-for-one sweepers and removal and value, and then it usually tutors and wins with like a certain couple cards.
Yeah.
And it's got like, oh yeah, I drafted a Tarmogoyf one time, so I just play Tarmogoyf because he's a 7 or a 6/7 for 2.
Yeah.
It's that deck.
Yeah.
And it just aims to play the 2.5 hour game, because generally its good stuff, non-synergistic nature will outvalue you through Wrath of God type effects.
Yeah.
And that isn't for everybody, but that deck does exist. And if you don't like that or don't like playing against it, we just did the opposite in like 15 minutes with this Mircool guy saying, cut blue, cut red, and do this deck that does 75 different things still.
Here's 36 different decks you could build with this one card, because it's a complex, difficult, air quotes, difficult card that gives you all sorts of options and different places to grow and go and tune and
and if you're of the ilk that says, well, sometimes the game's just got to end, I can't just value the whole time. Brando gave you an option with aristocrats, and you are playing black and white. I'm sure you can figure something out to infinite bounce or sack and play again type thing.
Yeah,
right, with Ashnods or Phyrexian Altar and like a Grave Crawler or whatever, right, and do it that way. Or you can do Devoted Druid combo, where you kill your own Devoted Druid by putting -1/-1 counters on him. Then he comes back as an enchantment with Mircool, and then it won't die if you put -1 counters on it.
No, you just got an enchantment with a pile of -1s on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man, you know what? You know what's the funniest to imagine is imagine if Magic was real, right? And then you cast like Animate Enchantment on that guy, and he's just like, oh no! He just freaking
crumbles to
shriveled
dust
into a raisin.
Poor guy.
But the point is, you've got a couple different ways to combo. You've got, I don't know, Demonic Tutor to find those.
So you got a sack outlet in play.
Okay.
Sack outlet in play.
Yep.
You got a bunch of dudes.
Yep.
Crater Hoof Behemoth. But that's not enough.
But wait, there's more.
So you sack your Crater Hoof Behemoth. Remove it from the game and get an enchantment that does the same thing. Yeah.
You could say get double hoofed.
Because nothing says... Because one hoof is like they're putting the boots to you.
Yeah.
Double hoof is like a double stomp off the top rope. A monkey stomp, if you will.
Oh, man.
And since he has haste, maybe you're running. Maybe it's a shotgun drop kick right into the corner, thereby setting you up for the double stomp off the top rope.
Yeah. This could be a whole wrestling analogy deck.
Could be. Also, that would be an added layer of complexity.
I was just going to say, when you're playing your cards that all still have 700 words on them, but now you have a vector of which the deck is following.
That's right.
you add that layer of complexity saying, this card represents this wrestler from 1992 WrestleMania 4 or whatever it was.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And every card has like its own little like pamphlet that comes with it.
Oh shit! See, and again, that's that same layer of that's the same kind of complexity you get with this deck, but you're telling a story and you're doing something. I don't want to say more creative, but like you're flexing the creative muscles in your brain a little bit more rather than.
You know what? EDH, an expression of Magic deck building creativity. This could be, like, let's say it's just typical Miracul combo, Demonic Tutor to find it, Aristocrats, white-black value tutors, land, mana ramp, and green. But if every card represented a professional wrestler from years gone by, then all of a sudden you came full circle. You're so far behind in the creativity spectrum that you think you're fucking first again. And it's like, oh, I guess even if my deck is a 4 on the spice calculator, it's still an expression of EDH deck building creativity. And that's why decks like this are still okay.
And
sorry, I probably blew at the microphone.
Maybe it's also a 12 on the presentation scale because you visited Commander Cookout on Facebook every Thursday and you bought her all the sweet wrestler altars that Ryan will start producing just so somebody can build the Miracul wrestler deck.
The creativity scale?
The presentation scale.
Yeah, what does that go up to? 12?
Yeah.
You just made it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it up right now. It goes to 12. Starts at 3. Starts at 3, goes to 12.
Okay.
There's no 1, there's no 2, only 3.
It's a great system.
And I realized that 3 would then equal 1 and 12 would equal 9, but that's not how math works in real life. Okay, 3 to 12.
Yeah.
And if you get a 1, you're basically playing with like shoelaces and you're sitting not at the table. You're just like over there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's right.
So, Mr. Deach, big thank you. Not only for being a patron, but also being a freaking excellent guy.
You've been a cool human and inspiring this conversation. Let's ask the people a question, right?
Sure.
Are we wrong? Like, are we just all the way off with this? Like, do you think
what part of it?
Well, do you think that just long, wordy cards just mishmashed together, that is everything that we say it's kind of not? There's tons of synergy. There's just so much going on that it just makes the deck fun and intricate, and it's a puzzle for you to figure out how.
Well, you said the word. Do you think that complexity and the frequency that we've seen it at over the last 2 years? Do you think that's fun?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Is that the question?
Is that the tweetable?
Does the game becoming so much more complex by necessity of all these sets coming out? Does it make the game itself more fun? Not acquiring game pieces, not that. That's not what we're talking. Does it make the game more fun the more complex it gets?
I'll ask the same question, but in a little bit of a different way. Maybe just remove some of the extra words.
Yeah, see, I put too many words in that question. Yeah. Made it really too complex.
Do we need it? Do we need it? Could we have more reprints of cards that we want? That say, I don't know, black spells cost 1 less to cast.
Oh, could it be an artifact that costs 2?
Could be.
I think that'd be great.
Do we just need more of that and other just fun stuff? Maybe Western world? Maybe, crossovers that people actually want?
Like more Dungeons and Dragons? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Or not Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Or sorry, not Stranger Things, because people actually like that, but not, what's the zombie one? Walking Dead?
Walking Dead, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not that.
Yeah.
Do we need that complexity? Is the game just fine without it if we went forward 5 years of just giving us reprints, crossover products that like pop culture nerds actually want, and just like ratcheting it down to, aggro, control, or some combination thereof? Could we ratchet it down and would EDH still prosper?
Who can say? Except for the people in the comments. Yeah. Speaking of comments and people, thank you very much for being here. Thank you, FusionGamingOnline.com, your source for all your gaming needs, where you can go use special promo code CCO Spring to get 5% off all the shit that you're going to buy anyway, be they complex cards like the ones we talked about today, or the lowly basic land in the foil art that you prefer, because you like all your lands to match or not. It doesn't matter as long as it's a deck that you like.
Hey, I think that's point of the day right there. Really, if you want to like be a cool person and drink beer and jam Magic with us, like in Seattle and Bellevue, complex deck or no, we'll jam with you.
Yeah, we'll try and figure it out. And the more beer deep we are, the harder time we're going to have. But you know what? That's how we do things here at Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!